World of Warcraft is all about community. Other games aren't necessarily about that. If you play something like Counter-Strike or Dota 2 or League of Legends, you've probably made an extremely tiny amount of friends from running into random people in the game and maintaining a connection with them over time. But if you play World of Warcraft and you're not some strange insect person, then I bet that you will have connections with quite a few people that you've met over the years and that you still talk to sometimes. And if that's not the case for you, sorry, I didn't mean to insult you there. I thought it'd be funny to say, but you really need to work on that if you want to keep playing the game and you're not happy or you're not happy enough about your experience playing the game. There's a lot of people who play World of Warcraft. They put a lot of time into it. They're not sure if they like their gaming experience, and they keep at it. And they develop, usually, I would say, erratic opinions on what's wrong in their gaming experience. If you go on the Classic WoW subreddit, you'll see that most of the people on there aren't part of a guild's community. They might be in a guild, but they just see the guild as a job, basically, that provides them some form of compensation. And maybe they have a couple coworkers that they think are kind of funny, but they're not really connected with anyone. And this appears to be most players in the game. And then these individuals who they're in guilds and they show up to the raids for those guilds and they're not really friends with anybody, they will then have these ideas about why the gaming experience doesn't feel as good now as it did when they were a kid. And some things they might say is people are too serious about the game now. They gatekeep. They don't want to help new players. And I would say this notion that people are too serious, it's very, very flawed. One thing is playing the game as a kid, almost everybody would be able to resonate with this experience before. If you weren't in a very high tier rating environment, you would never have gotten the highest tier gear. And very few people did tier 3 or tier 6 stuff back in the day. And you'd see these individuals standing in cities, and it would be kind of mesmerizing, awe-inspiring, something kind of awesome just seeing them. And there's not a lot of them. And you may even remember some of their character names. Like, as a kid, you did. Nowadays, you don't remember any of these people from like 15 years ago that were just wearing tier 6 standing in Shatra City or something. But that was an extremely shared experience, was this appreciation of how other people could be really sweaty and get things. Nowadays, that's a thing that's gone from the game, which is kind of odd. Even though people are more serious about the game nowadays, I also think that it used to be that 100% of players respected the hustle in WoW when it came to raiding back in 2007, even though a lot of people never really raided or never raided in the current tier. Nowadays, the average player is way more serious, but tons of casual players have no respect for the hustle at all in WoW. And then they also don't have any real respect for their guilds or their guildies. And they recognize that they're not having as much fun as they used to as a child. And their strategy for dealing with these emotions is to blame other people instead of trying to like really put in a lot of effort to try to fix that. I ran a guild in 2019, and I fucked this up too. So I tried to make a guild, and I had a very hard go of it. I was trying to recruit people by becoming their friends one at a time. And I was slowly getting very good friends, but I was like, wow, this is going to literally take me like 4 years to make a guild this way. Like, I'd been running MC Pugs for 3 months, and I had 6 or 7 people that would regularly come to Molten Core runs with me. And I had to pug everybody else. And one day I got sick of it, and I joined somebody else's guilds. Like, we merged in, and I became an officer and then eventually a co-GM in this guild. And we had some really great raids. We had like a 24-minute BWL. You give a shit about that, like hour nax. But I was very unhappy with the group of people that I was playing with. I liked a lot of them, but there was a few people in this guild who drove me fucking crazy. I thought, and I could be wrong about this or biased about this part, but I felt like they were low quality teammates who didn't share in the group's vision, and they treated other members disrespectfully, and they were okay with damaging like the social fabric of the guild so that way they could seem cool to each other. And there were some individuals that, for example, in this guild were treated like punching bags, because it would be just an easy way for people to amuse each other was to bully these guys, and it annoyed the fuck out of me. But it was my guild, and I didn't really know how to like take the reins and fix it. And I played with them for years, and then eventually I left my own guild, which was the best decision I ever made playing World of Warcraft. And then I finally started getting on the path of making the game truly worth playing. And if you're playing the game right now and you feel like you aren't like emotionally tied up with your guildies and you're not having fun, maybe you should try doing that. You should either start trying to participate in your current guild. And if that's not easy enough for you to figure out, it might be a skill issue. It might be that you don't know how to integrate yourself into a social scene. And I'm not saying that you need to fix that skill. You could then, for example, you could either work on that, which might be very hard in your current guild, or you could bounce around guilds until you find one that's extremely inviting. And then you can start getting to know people. And you will start having feelings similar to how playing the game as a kid was, almost for sure. It's pretty much inconceivable that if you join any community anywhere in the world, whether it's in World of Warcraft or somewhere else, and it's inviting and you show up and you like the people, that you won't have an extremely pleasant experience. And you can try a whole bunch of guilds too. That's another thing. No one does that. I had somebody actually whisper me in game like a week ago asking about my guild. And, I have a YouTube channel. So what I'm thinking is that this dude saw me on YouTube and wants to join the guild. And I get into a Discord call with this guy. And then I realize I asked this dude, so like, hey, like, I have a YouTube channel. Did you hit me up because of that, or did you randomly hit me up? And he's like, that's fucking hilarious. I randomly hit you up. I have no idea that you have a channel or anything. I sent that same message to 50 people, and you were like one of the first ones that responded to me and said something that wasn't weird. And so I wanted to get in a call with you. And, we talked with each other for like 3-4 hours. It turned out this guy wanted to actually be in an extremely casual environment. He wasn't even sure if he's going to continue playing the game. But he wanted to try getting into raiding. And I remember just being super impressed by this strategy of his, because he has managed to put in 1 or 2 days, this guy has put more thought and effort into finding the right group of people than all the times I've been ungilded and looked for a guild put together. Every single one of them. And this guy pulled this off in a couple days. He just went and had a whole bunch of conversations, probably with like me and a few others, and then he made a decision. Whereas you got to imagine, if you're messaging like 50 random people about joining their guild, you'll have a ton of people who will just say, they'll have a ton of no responses. Like half of them, no response. Half of them, yeah, like, do you want to join like right now? And then there'll be like just a few people that actually want to engage in a conversation with you. And you could apply similar strategies like this into your own life for, both making friends in the real world and in the game, but definitely, you should do it in the game. And it will make playing the game feel super worth it. I think a good sign of having a great group that you're around, and also maybe a sign of addiction or mental illness, is that the thought of quitting is painful, even when you're not having a super fun time when it comes to a lot of the activities. Like in my guild, I love all the people I play with, and I'm going to play with them, I think, forever. But sometimes we have scuffed raid nights, and I attach my self-worth with my ability to have the raids go good. A lot, and I will feel really bad, and I will sometimes wonder why I play this fucking goddamn game. But I will also at the same time feel like I need to have the people that I play with in my life, and it makes my life a lot better. And that's why I play. And I think just about everybody who plays the game, that's true for them, and they just might not be cognizant of it, because when it comes to actually playing this game, like, it's great. There is very little input lag. The netcode is fantastic. You can have a fun time, whether you have really good pings. Like I got, this is bullshit. There's no way I have 4ms. Or you have 200 ping. You can have a lot of fun, at least in PvE, either way. And the game runs great on bad computers and on great computers. And I do think the global cooldown system and stuff, that's all cool too, and the resources. But there really are a lot of games that I think are better when it comes to purely the gameplay. But World of Warcraft, and to a lesser extent games like RuneScape, they're kind of like a chat room that has a really nice skin on them. And you should take a lot of advantage of that chat room. If you're not happy with the people you play with right now, and you're interested in raiding very seriously, hit me up in Discord. I mostly only have spots for warriors, but I don't want to discourage you from messaging me based on your class. I won't be able to promise you a raid spot. But I am interested in meeting more people all the time. So hit me up. Hopefully you have a good day.